morning, everyone. I'm Felicia Jimenez, and as every week, I invite you to act and reflect with civic responsibility for the future of our planet.
Hello, my name is Angel Cristobal. Climate in Contest is a series produced and written by Felicia Jimenez for Southwest TV, streaming on YouTube and broadcast on Radio Centro Miami and Doral Voice.
We're here, we're electric, and we're the future! All around the world, incredible new ideas are changing the way we live. I'm Zay Harding, and this season on the Visioneers, we'll travel farther than ever.
We're not just flying high, we're flying hybrid.
Meeting scientists, inventors, and everyday problem solvers.
Whoa, it's actually really heavy.
Who are using creativity and technology to shape a cleaner, greener tomorrow. I think I hear the trees going, thank you, Ed.
Exactly.
Thank you. We'll dive into exciting breakthroughs. You really are a visioneer. Hands-on experiments, perfect. And inspiring stories that prove innovation can come from anywhere and anyone. If you affect one person, you're making a difference. Witness the future today with Season 2 of The Visioneers.
1, 2, 3.
Weekend mornings on CBS.
Today on Clima in Contesto, we welcome Zay Harding.
Hey, thank you for having me, you guys. Angel, Felicia.
It is a big honor for us.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
big
thank you.
honor for us. I must tell this.
It's my honor, really. It was a pleasure meeting you at Climate Correction, and thank you for
Thank
deciding to have me on your show.
That's all. Thank you. I see.
All right. Okay. The first question for you is that I think the Visioneer with Zay Harding highlight innovators and shaping the future. And how does the production team select the Visioneers featured in each series? How do you
Yeah, so this is an amazing show. It's a real treat to be able to do a series like this where we actually are going out finding real projects around the world that are making a difference for the world and our planet and the air and the soil and the water that we all need to survive. So it's a very important thing, and because it's such a broad scope, we really do involve everybody around the planet. So luckily, innovators can come from anywhere, and there's a lot of them out there. So we spend half a season focusing domestically on the US, featuring projects that are going on US soil. And then the other half, we go abroad. So season 1, we went to Europe a lot, and season 2 as well. And we are getting ready for the next season where we're looking into Australia and New Zealand. So we find these things by research, by word of mouth. Some of the innovators we've featured will tell us, oh, you got to talk to this person. So the hard part is scheduling everything together because coordinating, we've got limited time to film, only 5 months each season. So we go, it sounds like a long time, but we're going nonstop, and traveling takes up time too. So we're filling our schedule with as many as we can of the best stories that we can find. So it's really exciting.
what are the quality that someone has to be to be a true innovator?
Yeah. So what we're looking for are people who are doing things differently. Right now, a lot of our current ways of doing things are not so good for the planet. They're good for making money, but they're taking a toll on the future of our planet. So we're starting to think about that, and we're focusing on people who are conscious of that and just taking the initiative to go out there and try new ideas that they have that will cut back on our emissions and less of these harmful gases and pollution to achieve what we need without giving up what we're doing, but doing it differently. So like instead of being such burning so much energy for a cooling system, we find someone who has found a way to, this is actually an old idea, but it's called the ground fridge, that he's now making into little kits that are easy to install underground. And the natural temperature is keeping it cold enough that food won't rot. It's like a natural refrigerator. That's just one example, but we feature all kinds of people doing this using water, using wind, using solar power, using geothermal heat to do the work for us instead of creating more pollution trying to make energy. So tapping into natural energy. A lot of times there's a kid who did he was just thinking, why are we wasting so much clothes buying new clothes when my clothes actually fit my friend? I could just pass them on to him. So he started a recycling uniform system within his school, and they've been able to really cut back on the waste that we put into landfills. So anything like that, we're looking for people that are just thinking of ways to be more sustainable, using compost to for soil rather than these pesticides, using non-toxic paints, natural paints, stuff like that.
Only people like you and us and another foundation, I see, we are able to save the planet, because for another people it doesn't care. Yeah.
Well, that thanks to VoLo Foundation, we are able to do this show and come into everyone's TV every weekend. We're on CBS every weekend. We're actually translating it right now to Telecitos, which is part
Oh,
of
that's
Telemundos.
in Spanish.
So yeah, we're gonna have everyone's dubbing over my voice in Spanish. It's fun, but we want the word to go out, and
But you are going to host in Spanish too?
I'm doing my thing in English, and then a translator translates my voice so
Oh,
that everyone can understand. But that's very exciting because now we're going to reach a much broader audience. And we're doing this by going into people's homes every Saturday on CBS, into their televisions, and making them aware so that they can start this conversation at home. And we're doing it by telling stories so it doesn't feel like they're being schooled. It's really important to utilize that because we don't want to turn people off, but we do need people aware. I believe that when people are educated about this stuff, they do want to make the better decision about things.
Which location topics impression on you, and why, and what has been the most challenging moment during production?
Yeah, so the most impactful scene that we visited, and I have been around the planet several times for over the last 20 years. I was hosting a show called Globe Trekker, where we would show what you can do as a tourist, in these different places and celebrate the different cultures. And I started to notice there's a lot of wear and tear. There's a lot of changes that are going on in the environment, in the world, melting ice caps, raising water levels, for shorelines. That's a big issue. Even Hawaii, where I'm from, just had the biggest flood they've had in 20 years. So it's something that we must all think of. But furthermore, beyond all the natural stuff, it's the stuff we're doing. And when I was in Jamaica, we featured an innovator that came up with an interceptor, is what they called it. And it's basically a floating gate that goes at the bottom of a gully where all the water runs off the island into the water. So what happens is, for whatever reason, maybe people miss the trash or they're just throwing trash on the ground, the rain lifts it up and brings it into this channel of water that wants to take it to the ocean. And for years, that was the case. And it was just polluting the oceans and the harbors of Jamaica. That's just one example. But this is where we went to see it. They also have these innovators, these interceptors all throughout the Caribbean. I think there's 32 of them right now on different islands, and it is disturbing how much plastic is acquired after each rain. I visited one right after a rain, and it was just like looking at a dump yard. But they're catching it right as it hits the ocean. So luckily, they're able to intercept it, like the name suggests, and then they can recycle it. And make something good of it. But the neat thing is they're bringing students to see it, so they can start thinking at an early age how their actions are making a difference. So they can either not care about the environment and keep doing that, and they're going to pollute their beautiful beaches, or they can see what could happen and make a change to prevent it. So I think by starting with the kids, we're able to instill new habits of caring. We all need to care more about the environment. So that's one thing we really tap into throughout the series is climate care. We all can be doing our own part a little bit better to contribute towards a better environment.
Yes, I think that the people who was born, is my case, is her case, and yours, in Ireland, are all different, and in order to how the climate has influence of us, different with the people who live in great continent. So
Yes.
my reflection is, when did you started this kind of job that you do in this moment? Your relation with TV and you know.
So I had always wanted to be a performer, and I majored in theater in college and went out to Los Angeles and happened to book the travel gig. And so while I was traveling, I was thinking at first it was more a performance. Then I realized I'm actually seeing parts of the world that I would never get to see otherwise, and a lot of people don't get to see. So now I have an opportunity to compare what's going on in the world. And I realized that I can use my medium for something positive. So there's a real there's a real need for people to understand better what we can be doing, what we are doing that's hurting the planet, and what we can do to help the planet. So I decided after a couple decades of hosting this show that I can still travel, but I can be traveling with purpose and finding people that are doing things to make a difference. And luckily, I teamed up with VoLo Foundation. David Vogel and I went to school together from a very early age. We both became Eagle Scouts. He's best friends with my brother. So he's always been in my life. But it occurred to me that something he's doing with VoLo Foundation is trying to raise awareness and find solutions. And one day we were out surfing, and I thought that would make a great show. What if we could go out and find solutions? I think that would be very exciting. So he was 100% behind it, and the VoLo Foundation has been incredible to support this. So yeah, it's. I think that's what we. I was turned on to the idea by traveling, but also when I realized what are my resources, who can I get help from, I realized that everybody wants to help. So I actually have the resources
Mm,
to make it
Yes,
that
happen.
we saw one topic about a film that you did in the ocean was very interesting to me because never before I saw nothing like that, and I see you in the camera and you are very energetic. You very running to some different place. No, I have no miedo.
afraid,
Have no
afraid
afraid.
to.
I'm
Yep,
not
no
afraid.
fear.
See, you're very. I love this. Yesterday I love this video.
Well,
Yes,
thank you. Thank you. I have learned from traveling
yeah.
that even when places have scary reputations, like Fiji has a reputation for being, they've got headhunters and they've got rituals where a little bit of cannibalism in Indonesia. The people are still really good people, and sometimes they do those things for religious reasons, but when you really break it down, people need people. People are good people, need others, and they want to do the right thing. So you just have to show respect, and that's something I learned in Hawaii. Just because that's part of the culture there, the Polynesian culture is all about respect, and if you do, they will welcome you in like you wouldn't believe. They'll be cooking for you, introducing you to their aunties, and making you feel like you're part of the family. So I do really enjoy connecting with people all around the world, regardless of the culture. We're all, trying to have fun in this world and do good things. At the underneath everything, we're all good people. So it's fun for me to connect. I am not afraid of interacting with anybody, and usually, if you listen, it's incredible what people will do. They'll open up and share really amazing, important things with you. So I find myself listening and being curious. My wife's always reminding me, be curious, because if you're interested, then you're interesting.
Sorry.
Oh,
Let's take over about VoLo Foundation. I
Uh-huh.
have a specific question.
yeah.
Well, as you know, we recently participated in Climate Correction 2026. We have the
Yeah.
point of view of the media. But my question for you is, how did you evaluate this year's conference hosted by VoLo Foundation?
So I have heard of this conference for a while, and this was my first time I got to attend. And actually, they made me a keynote speaker, which was amazing. So it made perfect sense. I thought it was a beautiful thing. I really support what it's about. And actually, I started to realize climate correction is actually like an episode of the Visioneers. We're doing the same thing. We're interviewing people about their innovative projects that are exciting and need to be taught. We're gathered with people who want to learn about it. So there's a real connection there, and I started to realize climate correction is actually a good name for it. Could also be climate connection, because the contacts there are incredible. And that's the benefit beyond what our show does. Our show will introduce people to you, but beyond that, they might not be as accessible. When you're right there, you're talking to all these people who are similar interests, who are doing amazing things. I thought it went really, really well. And it makes sense that I was there, because my show is sponsored by VoLo Foundation. That event, Climate Correction, is sponsored by VoLo Foundation. And they just went hand in hand. So it was great.
Yes, I agree with you because I think it's one of the most influential climate action events in
Yeah.
the USA.
Put us together, you and I, for today. So this is great.
And work with them is very nice because they are very organized,
Okay, so
and
Organized.
thing
yeah.
is running is beautiful.
Yeah.
Uh,
How do you see the role of the media? Because we are journalists. Well, really, we studied humanity, and she's a linguistic. I'm linguistic too. We studied
Mm.
the Roman language. The language that came from Latin, French.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That is
Yeah.
our major, no? The major that we have.
Yeah.
But in the practice, we started to develop a profession as journalists in Venezuela. So I have the impression from Venezuela that the journalists and the media uh, don't look to the environment like us in this moment. It's a different point
Correct.
of view. So,
Yeah.
but you as conferencist and panelist, how do you can explain the role of media in communicating climate solution right now? How do you see that?
So that's a good point. It's very difficult when politics are involved, because a lot of the news media and papers that get published have to appease the top people, and if they're not really convinced about climate correction, then what do you do? So we're aware of that. We are on CBS, which also has FCC guidelines and rules, and they don't want this to be a political show. So that's how we get around it. Is beyond all the politics, science cannot be argued. Right? That's been proven. So we use science-based evidence to go in and just tell their stories and show what we can be doing. Either way, we leave the choice to the viewers. We're not preaching. We don't tell people what they should do. We just show people, if you do this, it's a good outcome. If you do this, it's a bad outcome. You make the choice. but at least now you're educated. And that is something that VoLo Foundation is extremely adamant about. They say there can be no future without environmental education. So I see myself almost as a teacher, just talking about certain subjects, talking to people, learning. I'm learning on camera, making sure the audience understands. And I've got a 9-year-old daughter. And so I think about her watching the show, and she loves the show. And it's on Saturday mornings. So there's a lot of kids that watch it with their parents. And so I try to make it fun because no one likes a boring lecture or a boring classroom. So lots of energy. And Hearst Media Production Group, who produces this, they do a really great job of researching fun stories that are going to be visual. You know, I can get my hands dirty and connect and understand these things. And then they edit them in such a way where we're learning without feeling like we're learning. We're having fun. And at the end, we go, wow, I really walked away feeling like I learned something.
And the conference was special. I go listen the man that spoke about the
That's
Everglades, the Everglades.
Everglades. Yeah.
Was
Very invested. And so they find a lot of projects that really matter. And they yeah, they know some people that really do care and are doing great things about the planet. But yeah, Everglades are right in your backyard. Florida has some real issues that they need to protect. You know, the sea surges, the sea walls need to be replaced, and we feature Kind Designs, Anya Freeman and her company. She's the visionary we feature. She's based in Miami, and she's come up with a biomimicry solution. So instead of just a flat seawall that bounces the water back into the ocean and hurts the animals, hers is incorporating the mangroves that are around the surrounding area. Those are being washed away. So she's building fake ones into the seawalls, which helps bring a place, a habitat for oysters, and those oysters are filtering the water, and at the same time, because of the design, it's actually absorbing the impact, so it's less harsh for the sea environment, but it also protects the land behind. So she's just been talking with the government about expanding her seawalls all the way up to the coastline of the US, which is really exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Okay.
That's true.
Is a seawall. Let's start with that.
Seawalls are what protects the land from flooding. Like if a house is on the ocean, the seawall is between where the house ends and the ocean begins. The first seawall in America went in the water in 1905 in Texas. So we've been putting in seawalls for a long, long time. But unfortunately, there are some problems.
What are the problems you're trying to fix then?
One is they're really expensive, and a lot of people can't afford them. So they may have a house near the water, it's getting flooded, but they can't afford to put in a seawall.
And yours are cheaper.
Exactly. And the second problem is regular seawalls are really bad for sea life because they're leaching chemicals into the water, and because they're flat. So all the fish and all the sea life that was living by the coast, it has nothing to attach to during storm events and surges. And so all of that sea life migrates. It leaves the area, and nobody's left to eat the toxins in the water.
Let's back a little about the Visioneers. How the team producer, how do you find a topic specifically? And
Yeah, it's a great question. We try to not repeat similar ones, so we try to just show the whole spectrum of what our issues are and what people are doing. So, and we also try to, if there's a kid doing it, we'll feature them over anyone else. So, we there are so many. There are so many. We can't. We were hoping for a second season because season one we couldn't fit them all in, and then luckily when season two came, we had a great start. And then by then we were getting momentum. People telling us so. We really do try to find single people over companies. Although if we can get the person that started it within the company, we'll go to them. We really want to focus on the people because the more you recognize that these things they come from an idea. It all started with one person. We all can be like that. So it's not so fantastical, it's not so untouchable. It now becomes something that anybody can do. So we want to make that point that behind all these amazing innovations are just regular people like you and me, and you could be the next visionary as well. If you just have this idea, everybody we feature doesn't wait for someone to tell them it's okay to do it. They just do it. They start and they try it and they realize, hey, this is working. And then, we find out about it. They post something or something, and we find out about through research or somebody telling us. But and then we have to schedule it in. So that's another thing. We can't feature everybody we find because sometimes they're in different countries that we're not going to that season, or their availability isn't happening. So we always have a backup plan when we go somewhere in case somebody falls out. But people have been really, really available, which is exciting because that means they want their stuff to be seen on our show. And the retention rate of people watching the show is incredible. It's like 98% from beginning to end. So once someone turns it on, they don't turn it off until the show's over. So that's really exciting.
Certainly, yeah.
Special, I have, because I bring a questionnaire with too much preguntas, no? A question
Questions.
with too much
Yeah,
questions. But it's very fluid, the conversation with you, and I changed because you told me
yeah,
everything that I want to listen. And
that's
I
good.
bring this question, but we are changed. But I
That's
have
good.
one a question that is very important for me
Yeah.
because you have a special ability to make complex topics feel human and accessible.
That's right.
So, how do you prepare to tell these stories? Stories, I tell you that? Stories
Yeah.
in a way, in a way that resonate with audience. With all audience.
So yeah, it's I want my whole purpose is to understand so that the audience can understand. And if I don't understand, then I know they're not going to understand. And I remember certain subjects in school when we're studying science, even though I did well, I remember thinking, man, this is a hard concept to grasp. So on those particular moments, I break it down for people knowing that my daughter's watching and she probably won't understand yet. So let me just make sure she understands. And if I can explain it in a way that a 9-year-old will understand it, I think I'm doing okay because that covers most of our audience, and then it also means that adults are going to be able to understand it. And sometimes the adults come up to me after and they're like, thank you for breaking that down, because I was embarrassed to ask, I didn't even understand. And so it's neat that I've got my daughter there as kind of a gauge to decide if something is understandable or not. But yeah, bottom line, I need to make sure the viewers understand, or it's all for nothing. If we don't understand it, what's the point? If we understand it, we're going to be moved by it and make a difference. So that's really, and I like to have fun anyway. So learning shouldn't be boring. Sometimes science feels boring, I hate to say, but I think that's because we don't understand. So if we make it fun, then it's engaging, and we can learn without feeling like we're sitting through a long lesson.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah. What? So we have 2 minutes. So, okay.
Nice.
Yes.
Let's
Okay.
let's party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
2 minutes to change the world. Come on, Angel. Let's go.
okay. Okay. How can young people become visioneers in their own community?
Okay, so in the US, it's on every Saturday morning on CBS. And that's if you can't make that, you have to check your local listing for time. It's usually in the morning. There's a cbs.com. You go to their website, and there's an app you can download for free. And then you can watch it on demand. Also on Pluto TV, you can watch it on demand.
Awesome. So, what message would you share with a Latin American audience, especially those following right now your work through Southwest TV? So,
Yeah, I would say look into your own lives and figure out what needs to change and start trying different things, because that's what's going to make you the next Visioneer. These are all people that don't want to wait for somebody else to solve it. I think the Latin community is very good at coming together and being resourceful. And if you voice your opinion, voice your idea, I think you're going to find people, at least in your family member, are going to support it. And once you start, the entire community is going to want to join in. And that's how you make a presence. And then, eventually we'll hear about it and we'll want to interview you and feature you on our show with the next great new idea that's going to help save the planet.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, the time here
Yeah.
with the platform is very
Time is money, no?
but no, it's quick to know.
Yeah. It's run
Yes,
fast.
it's
Okay.
fast. It's
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Same here. Yeah.
So I think we must finish.
No, do you have any message that you want
A
to
message,
share with,
yeah, a message
with the
for-
audience?
No, just thank you for being interested in this, and also thank you guys. You know, what you're doing at South Press TV. This is great. You're raising awareness. You're starting a conversation, a dialogue with the community. This is something that we all must hear and be talking about all the time, because then it's on our minds, and that's how it becomes. We make changes that way. When we talk about it, then actions follow. So this is great. Thank you for what you're doing and just helping me get the word out to everybody too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're
Out
friends.
to.
Now, we're friends and follow a climate contest. We have spoken with Zay Harding, and how you could see, he is a man that explains science, technology, and climate change. So, quiero decir también, I want to tell you too that say thank you for sharing your vision, your experience, and the history behind the Visioneer with Zay Harding. You will continue to open windows into the future and remind us of the power of innovation and human creativity.
Okay.
I think it's all for
Well,
today.
yes. So, Pretty staff,
yeah.
appreciate your time.
Yeah,
And we look
same.
forward to following your next journey. Okay.
Thank you very much, you guys.
So this is Clement Contesto. Until the next time.
Okay. All right.
I'm wishing you the great success in your
Ah,
series. Okay?
gracias. Muchas gracias.
We are right now. We become fans of your series.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, likewise, you guys are very sweet, and I appreciate your time as well.
Appreciate it. Until next time.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.